Hi everybody, Graham here with the latest updates from We Share Abundance. I've got the curtain drawn because it is very sunny coming through, so I am actually sat in quite a bright room, but it just looks dark on the screen. But I'm here with the latest updates from We Share Abundance. We Share Abundance is a cloud nation. We are the United States of the world, and we're on a mission to banish poverty. And we've been around for a little bit over 3 years. So we're an emerging nation, and we've spent that time putting in some really solid foundations so that we can now concentrate on generating income, putting that money into the treasury, into liquidity pools, increasing the value and the liquidity of our currency, and benefiting all our citizens, and ultimately having sufficient funds to help people even outside of our community. How do you become a citizen of the United States of the world? We Share Abundance. Very simple. We accept people from anywhere in the world, and there's no cost. In fact, we'll give you $5 just to prove that you are a real person. And everything that we have within our organization, you can get involved in without putting your hand in your pocket. Most members choose to throw a few dollars in because they can move quicker up the ladder, if you like, to success. But it's completely optional. There's never any obligation to get involved in anything. You do as you choose. But we are here to share love and abundance. So we ask that you come with a positive mental attitude and that willingness to share love and abundance. And that's all. Okay. We accept people, as I say, from everywhere, every continent, every country. But we also accept people of every gender, sect, colour, creed, class, educational level, financial status, because we don't bother with any of that. We're a non-separatist organisation. All we see is everybody as a human being, part of one big family of humanity. And we don't pigeonhole people because they're fat or thin or old or young or whatever. So that's non-separatist. We recognise that everybody is unique and so has something unique to offer our community, and so is of equal value to every other member of our community. A simple philosophy, but it's sometimes hard to really get your head round because we are so used to pigeonholing people, saying, oh, he's Asian or European or tall or short or young or old. Why? We're all part of one family. We're all part of one happy family. And hopefully we can all behave together in supporting one another and being happy as one family. Okay. With that said, we should be streaming live on YouTube, Twitch, and in our Facebook group, We Share Abundance Publicly. And I'll be heading over there in just a moment. I see we've got Lewis in from Portugal in the YouTube, but most of the comments that we get are in Facebook, and we don't see the names of the people from Facebook in the app that we use to stream. So I'm going to head over to Facebook right now, and hopefully things will be working there when I get to Facebook. I'm going to be looking for We Share Abundance Publicly group. I'm going to make sure my speakers are off so we don't get feedback. And then I'm going to be looking for the 17th, I think, isn't it? Yeah, 17th of June. And so far, so good. We get the comments up in Facebook. And we've got Andrew in from New Zealand, where it will be Sunday morning. Yeah, it's Saturday today. Okay, he's letting me know I'm coming through loud and clear. Thank you, Andrew. So far we have Portugal and New Zealand represented. I'm sure there'll be other people along soon. Avazu have a webinar, and it may still be going on. I left it before it finished. And I know a lot of our members are involved with Avazu. We've got Richard in saying good evening from Devon in the UK. Um, we will be getting started in just a moment with a short prayer. The prayer is there to help us find true happiness in life. You can't buy happiness. It doesn't matter how much money you've got, you won't necessarily be happy. It won't make you sad either. I'm not saying that money is bad or acquiring money is bad. What I am saying is it won't buy you happiness. You will get pleasure from being able to buy a few of the things that you've not been able to, or pay off your debts or whatever it may be. And those are all good things. But find true happiness, you won't do it just through having money. You'll always be looking for more. There'll always be something else you need because you don't understand that that hole inside you that is always searching can only be filled through being of loving service to others. And once you accept that as your goal, you will find that inner contentment and happiness through helping other people, and everything that you want to need in life materially will flow to you. So it's a really good way to go about your life. And we will, as I say, get started with a short prayer to help us on that path. And then we'll follow it with a little affirmation to help us with that non separatist ideology. And then we'll move on with where we are with the um, updates. And we have Snoopy doing a happy dance in the scheduled um, events thing. And I'll tell you why that is. It may seem a very insignificant thing, but believe me, it's a lot more than a little insignificant thing. I'll tell you why in a moment. But let's get started now with that short prayer and then that affirmation, and then we'll get down into the business side of things, and we may even have time to talk about the cricket. Okay, so here we go. Dear Heavenly Father, we are so happy and grateful for you, and we ask that you bless the We Share Abundance community, that it may fill each member's heart with unconditional love, and that through that love each member may find the joy of service. And through service, bless each member that they may attract into their life true happiness and everything they want and need. Amen. And the little affirmation we have goes like this: we're so happy and grateful to be citizens of the United States of the world with God and truth as our leaders. Heavenly Father, may thy kingdom of peace come into our world as it is in heaven, and free us all from divisive in harmony, that we may become perfect citizens in body, mind, and soul of thy world. Right, why is Snoopy doing a happy dance? Well, it is weekend. We don't have any updates from the developers on weekends because they don't work weekends. So it's usually all about what's going on with anything that I can get done. And the happy dance is something, as I say, you may think is really insignificant. And that is that Facebook have come back to us and said, I wonder if I've still got it here so I can give it you word for word. Uh, Here we go. Your bank account information has been verified. Any pending ads will start running now. Okay. Now, as I say, you may think that is insignificant just to get your payment system verified and operational. Um, I can't get back into here. Just a minute. Okay, there we are. But it's taken us weeks, maybe even months to get to that stage. And I don't know why it takes so long, but it has done. What it means is that the warm-up campaign can now start. Unfortunately, that warm-up campaign is 15 days. So before we get into the main campaign that will be running to get the Turnkey Cash Cow members some commissions coming in, and to make generally a decent sum of money for our treasury. It's going to be 15 days before that starts, and it's going to take 10 to 12 days probably before we start seeing any results from that. So at least now we have a date, we have things in place, and I think that was the last obstacle stopping us from getting going. But it has taken an amazing amount of time, a lot of toing and throwing, a lot of time on my part just to try and get answers from Facebook why things weren't being accepted, and getting onto ROI tips to get them to push Facebook along. But we are there. So that's the happy dance from Snoopy. That's what it was about. Who else have we got here? We've got Peter Stotesbury in from, also from Portugal, from the Algarve, I believe. Is there an update on the We Support It account regarding any payout, or are you redepositing for a little longer? No, we're still planning to make the payout on the allocated date, which I believe is the 5th of July. Or it will be, it may take a few days, but that's when we should have the funds in. If the 5th of July is the Saturday when we get paid, and okay, so it's we're still on track for that, hopefully. Okay, and we've got Deborah in from Southern Alabama, USA. Right. One thing I want to show you, and I did something that I've never even thought of doing before, which just showed you how untechnical, if you like, I am, and that is doing the screen share. But I've set the screen share up, so if I go into the Melon app, I should be able to just show it on the stream without having to go through all the rigmarole. Come back here, and it should be coming up any moment, and there it is. And what I want to show you here is this is one of our, we have two accounts in Beyond Infinity, and we had to because it was beneficial to stack them in this way to move us forward more quickly. Whether or not it was really beneficial, looking at it long term, I'm not sure, but I think it is. And what we have here is we have the sub account, if you like. We've got the other account introduced this account. And this account here, you can see, is the one where we're buying all the cars. And we bought 3 cars within the last week. Now, why do we want to buy cars? Well, we don't really want to buy cars, but we want the income that we can perhaps generate from selling those cars. And we've got 3 cars bought just within the last week. And we'll be starting a new week tomorrow, and hopefully looking at we can buy 3 or maybe 4 cars every week from now on. But we've got these 3 cars. You can see we bought the first one on the 11th, and then one on the 13th, one on the 16th. And this is coming from income that is generated through the program, that we are able to then put back in, buy cars, and it also will enhance the speed that we get to getting reasonable income from the plan. But when we look at this, that 3 cars at $25,000 each, $75,000 in a year's time, the week that we're in now, in a year's time, we will have $75,000 worth of assets to sell. Now, we're not going to get $75,000 for the cars. I know that, and you know that. But they are new cars, and we should get a good price for them. And I would be really, really disappointed if we didn't get half price for them. So if we're looking at $75,000, you know, even at that sort of miserable half price for a brand new car, we means we'd be making $37,500 in the corresponding week next year just from those cars. And they won't have costed anything because we'll have earned the money back on that. So basically, it's $37,000 or more, hopefully a week, and probably increasing every week as we go through, and we're earning more and more commissions that we can do the same thing with in this particular account. We'll keep it all in this account because it's easier to track and because it's more beneficial, because we also get income from the income that this account generates in the other account, which is cash income, if you like, and we're trying to build that up to a level where it's able to keep compounding and yet give us some significant income back. But I wanted to show you that those 3 cars purchased in the week, that's the most we've had. I don't know how many cars we've got now. I have been on to them to add some way that we can track the purchases, and they have said they will be adding a table showing the number of purchases you've got of cars and when they're due and this sort of thing. So the programmers accept that this is needed and will be adding it. But at the moment, it would be a hassle to go through, and I can't remember how many cars we've got. I've got to be honest. I think most of them are at this same level, but I'm sure that we have at least one at the $500 or $50,000 level. Um, so once we get that table, once the programmers in Beyond Infinity have done that, they've been working on this pool that they have where you can go in and buy, or not buy, but you can take people out of the pool and pay it forward for them to get into your network. Like basically, you don't have to do any recruiting, advertising, or anything. You just say, okay, I'll add 2 or 3 people, or 5 or 10. I think you can add about 10 people now at the moment into your network if you want. Obviously, you've got to pay it forward for them. So 10 people would cost you $500. If it's your first 3 people, you're not going to make anything on those first 3 basically, because they're going to put you into different plans in Beyond Infinity that will enhance your income in the future. But those first 3 uh, people that you put in, you're not really going to see any cash benefit from them. But as you go through then and start piffing in more people, gradually it gets to the point where that pay it forward for them is averaging out at about $15 per person. And it doesn't take you too long to make $15 back from having piffed somebody in. But if you just piff in 3 in, it's $150, and you're not going to see any cash back for that for a while. Okay, but the more you piff in, the more it gets your average to around about $15 for everybody. So there you go. Well, that's I wanted to show you. I'm pretty sure we'll be buying at least 1 car tomorrow, maybe 2, or maybe we'll buy 1 more expensive. I don't know. We'll just see how it goes. But I wanted to show you that um, we are in fact building for the future. We have always at the long term. We're not here get rich quick. We're not here to tell you you're going to be millionaires overnight. We do believe we'll make a lot of millionaires, but it's going to take time. It's going to take a little while for you and for the systems and everything else to compound up, and for us to get that money in and to get the liquidity pools built where we're going to be pushing those tokens, not only in liquidity and value, but also in the table of um, the top cryptocurrencies that will be moving up. I'm not sure where our currencies are at the moment. They'll be well down the table at the moment, but gradually we'll move them up and we'll get them into the top couple of hundred, and then the top 100, and then the top 50, and so on. Because they will be so stable and strong, and they'll be fortified by the income that we are going to be generating from multiple income sources, both within our economy and from outside our economy in things like Beyond Infinity. So The future is looking rosy. It's just that we've got more time to wait before things really get going. Vortic, of course, today is your payday. Okay, um, Vortic today transfer all the funds that they've made for you through the week into your wallet, and um, you can just leave them there if you want, but that would be a waste. You can withdraw if you've got $10 or more. Um, if you really need the cash, my advice would be if you've got $10 or more and you're not really desperate for the cash, my advice would be compound it, add it into your existing plan. And if you've got several plans, work on one to start with. Get it built up and built up and built up until you can get it to the next level plan and then the next level plan. And once you got to that top level plan, plan C, which is a $10,000 deposit that you'll have in there, you'll be well on the road to financial freedom. Um, how long will that take? Depends on how much you've got started with and how much you can add in. For example, you might have maybe $8 in your account, so it's not enough to compound, but you can add $2 to it, and that will give you $10, and then you can add that $10 to your account and start your compounding. You may have $150 in your account, and you may think, well, I'd rather put in a bit more, so you can add another 100 to it and 250 and add that into your account. Whatever it is, you've got to decide what route you want to take, but you want to be working always to get one plan up as high as you can. Let the other plans that you have expire, and as they expire, put them back into the other plan, the major plan that you've got, the one that's earning at that top rate when you have a minimum of $10,000 in that account. And when it's earning at that rate, just keep adding into there. And it means that you're just extending it. You will never ever get to the point where you lose 20% of your uh, stake in that because you keep extending the date every time you compound. So you're just making top dollar all the time and on more and more and more money. And you'll get to the point where once you've got to that 10,000, 6 months down the road, definitely you'll be able to pull out a tidy sum every week and still get a pay rise every week by compounding. And that should be your objective. But it is the day to day where the funds have been transferred into your account. So don't just leave it doing nothing. If you're desperate for cash, put in your withdrawal request. It's got to be in before 11 p.m. London time tomorrow, Sunday. Um, and you will get paid on Monday of this week. There's only one payment day every week from Vortic, and it's a Monday, and you've got to have your request in by 11 p.m. London time. So if you need your money out, get your request in before then so that you don't miss out for a week. If you are not desperate, get your compounding done so that you don't miss out on any days. Make sure you've got all your compounding done and you can sit back and say, okay, that's it. My income is going to be increasing in the coming week. But don't just leave it sat there. Even if you've not got enough, well, maybe you've only got $2 in there perhaps. And maybe you can't afford to put in another $8 to compound it. Okay, then you've got no option. You just have to leave your $2 there, and gradually the amount in your wallet will build up to a point where you can either make a withdrawal or compound it. You only need $10 to withdraw or compound. There's no monthly fees or anything with Vortic. There is a 5% fee when you withdraw. For another reason, if you're not desperate for the cash, compound it. There's no fee for adding it into your existing account. So it saves you 5%. So if you've got $100 in there, you draw it, you come out with $95. It's good. Passive income. But if you put it in and compound it, you're adding $100 in to your account, and it's going to mean that you're making more money the next week. The more you do it, the faster you will get to that level where you're going to be happy uh, to see that you're at that top level, earning the top dollar, and being able to withdraw maybe half of your weekly income, putting half back. You may want to withdraw more than half, you may want to withdraw less than half, depends on your needs. But you can work your own plan out. I sent a message out today and it's got a link into a page where you can download a spreadsheet. You can put your own figures in, out what is best for you, and you can crack on with that. Stick to the plan. That's the main thing. Decide on your plan and stick to it. Don't get diverted from your course of action once you've decided on it. Okay. Never downgrade your plan. You can always upgrade your plan, but never downgrade your plan. Stick to your plan. Stick to your plan. Stick to your plan. No matter how hard it may seem at the beginning, it will benefit you. Okay, who else have we got? We've got Accommodate in from Nigeria. Right, what else? We've covered Beyond Infinity. Yeah, and I mean, other plans that you've got as well. It's a good time to look at them because you're thinking about compounding. So, like if you're in other plans, you can compound your income in those. At the moment, with Coin Market Bull, you've got no option but to compound because the withdrawals are pending. I've not had a chance to follow through on any of the webinars and read all the stuff on Telegram group. So, but the consensus of opinion is it's going to be about 4 weeks before they're going to be paying those withdrawals. So, compound if you're in Coin Market Bull. Don't just leave it sat there for no reason. Stick it in, get it earning money for you. ETF is a good plan. I think they once again only trade through the week. I'm not sure of that, but if you are choosing to share these opportunities with other people, then you do earn commissions whenever you share. Same with Vortic. Vortic has the best compensation plan of any passive income scheme I've ever seen. So if you're going to share Vortic. It's a really good plan. And you get really well compensated for sharing. It's as safe as you get. It don't mean it's risk free. There's no risk free in life. The life itself is a risk. You know, you don't know what's going to happen to you in the future. You don't know how long you've got left on this earth. It may be a few seconds. It may be 100 years. Who knows? But everything has a risk. But Vortic is as low risk as you can get in a passive income plan. ETF, I believe, is another very solid low risk plan. But your minimum investment there is now $349. You can get involved in Vortic for $50, and the compensation plan is really good. The ETF plan we're in as founder members, and we're paying $99 a month into our compounding plan, $99 a week, sorry, into our compounding plan, which once again, we're not going to see any real benefit for that for a year. But in a year's time, that is more income that's going to be coming in week after week after week after week. The same with the cars from Beyond Infinity. In addition to the income from their passive plan, the Beyond Infinity Gold, those cars, just alone, those cars are going to be bringing in a lot of money. As you take all these things and you look at them and you say, wow, in a year's time, all our financial problems are going to be behind us. And that is massive because um, we've been through some rough water, or we're charting our course. We're on a course that nobody has ever been on before. So we've got to find our own way through it. We've never wavered from our objective, and we will get there. And when you look at all these plans coming uh, in the in the future, just 1 year from today, we'll have so much money coming in that we'll be able to do an awful lot of more things. We'll have a lot more things that we've developed that are increasing our income uh, internally as well as these external plans, and it's all going to be good. The turnkey cash cow plan that we're now in a position to start finally, having overcome, I think, all the obstacles. I don't think there's anything now that should stand in the way of that. Then that is going to start building and building and building. But with any advertising campaign, which is what this is, you hit a point where you get to the law of diminishing returns. It means that, okay, maybe you're putting in $3,000 uh, into your campaign, this first campaign, $4,000, and that earns you maybe $30,000 or $40,000, 10 times the amount. These are hypothetical; they're not guaranteed. Okay, so next month you double that, and you put in $8,000, and that earns you $60,000 to $80,000. And the next month you double that, and you're putting in $12,000 to $16,000. But it doesn't earn you $120,000 to $160,000. It earns you 100 to 120,000, and that's where you see this diminishing returns coming in. And you get to a point where you can't just add more. You've got to start a new campaign, and you've got to start from scratch with what you're doing, and rework it all from the beginning again. You've got to be constantly doing that, but we won't be letting one campaign get to that point of diminishing returns without having started something else. So that's all part of the management of marketing campaigns. You can't just keep doubling up and doubling your income. It does work for a while, sometimes years, usually months, uh, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, average life of a good campaign probably. And then it starts tapering off, and you start to get to a point where you've got to rethink. So you've got to be ahead of the game. You've got to be rethinking while it's doing well, while you're doubling up. You've got to be putting something else in place at the same time. And so that is the management of marketing campaigns. That's how we've got to be working and doing. Um, who else have we got? We've got Kingsley in from Manchester, UK. Hi there, Kingsley. Um, right, numbers. Um, at the moment, until we get our marketing campaigns going and things like that, our numbers are slow, but they've been gradually increasing. Um, and we're doing a lot better than we were just a few months ago. We are now on the upturn. However, having said that, we are down by a net 4 in our registered members today. Net decrease means we've taken out more members than we've had coming in today or in the last 24 hours. We take out people who haven't logged in for 2 months, and we're always getting new registrations, and it depends on how they balance out. So it's a net decrease of 4 to 39,410. Our active members is up by 9 to 3,717. Active members are people that are logging in regularly, usually every day, but at least half the available days. And multiply we've no change in the membership base today. It's been steadily increasing, but it's stayed level today. But the bonus pool has gone up to but by $1 to $10,173.36, and that is purely from logging in and getting the revenue share. Okay, have we got anything else? After being in limbo for so long, it's good to know that things will be moving soon. Yeah, it's taken much, much, much longer than I anticipated to get this campaign in collaboration with Caleb actually up and running. But it is now, as I say, I can't see any obstacles in the way that should stop it now. We should be heading in the right direction. It'll still be a few weeks before we actually see the cash coming in, but we will start seeing some results. Okay, let's have a look and see if we've got any questions and things in the app, the Melon app, or whatever it's been renamed as. Because here we see comments from YouTube and Twitch. I'm scrolling down to see if we've got anything from anybody, and it doesn't look like we have. Oh, just a minute, I've still not scrolled down all the way. I don't know why it stopped. Still going, still scrolling down. Okay, made no difference. So that's it from me on the business side of things. I've lost Facebook now. Where is it gone to? Here we go. Make sure that we're still here. So yeah, that's all from me. I did get time to check on the cricket while I was listening to what Dave had to say about his 24-hour marathon. I'm still, to be honest, I'm not clear on how and when you register, and they've got this sort of warm-up marathon. But I'm sure it will be coming out soon, and once it is, we can promote that to help them get going with that. It will not only help raise money for charity, there will be an opportunity for people that participate to make some money. There will be an opportunity for us to present We Share Abundance to a wider audience, and hopefully it will get some traffic to the Havasu site, push that up the rankings, and start to get some ticket sales. Okay. Where was I? Okay, yeah. But I did check the cricket and Test cricket. I know we've got this gung ho approach to it at the moment, which I don't dislike. I've got to admit it's exciting and it's attractive. But I think at Test level, you've got to have your best wicket keeper in the side. And the best wicket keeper probably in the world today is Folkes, and he's not in the side. And today we missed a stumping and a caught behind that I believe Folkes would definitely have gobbled up. Those cost us probably 60 or 70 runs. But it's not just the runs, it's also the psychological impact of taking those wickets and getting into the tail end. If those had been taken, I believe we'd have wrapped up the Australia innings today. And that would have given us a psychological advantage throughout the whole game. At the moment, I think Australia now have the psychological advantage in the game, even though they're still behind on the first innings score. How do you run your side? And you know, we've got Bairstow in keeping wicket. He's not a bad wicket keeper, but he isn't the best in the world, and he's missed those two chances. He's got to not only make those runs, which he just about did in his innings, so broke even, if you like, But how do you make up for that psychological impact and getting into the tail end of New Zealand and wrapping their innings up today, as opposed to going into tomorrow, still trying to take 5 wickets? Um, I don't believe you can compromise on your wicketkeeper at Test level, and you must play your best wicketkeeper regardless. And he's not a bad bat either, folks. He'll get you plenty of runs. He won't score them as fast as Best, though. But he'll get you the runs and he'll take the wickets. He'll take the catches and the stumpings, and uh, and that puts pressure on the batsman. The batsmen know they can't go down the crease with folks behind the stumps. Anyway, that's cricket. Unfortunately, I'm not the captain. I'm not the selector. I've got nothing to do with it. But that is my opinion. And if I was the captain, I would have folks in that side, and I'd have to rearrange it sometimes. Somebody would have to go. Who? That is another matter. But you've got to play your best wicket keeper. Okay. With that said, um, I, oh, I did mention that England were playing cricket today, not cricket, football today, yesterday, and apparently they played last night and they did win. It would have been a tragedy if they'd not won against Malta, with no disrespect to Malta. And I think they're playing again tomorrow or Monday, I don't remember when, against another side which they would be expected to beat. I don't think. I think they maybe just about got away with what would not be a score to criticise at 4-0. But I think going into the game, a lot of England supporters would have expected them to get 5, 6 goals rather than 4. But it's a win. Okay. So, with that said, that's me done for today. I love you all. I'll be back tomorrow